Hey there, I'm Sue. Today I'm going to do an update, just talking about my change to eating carbs after being on a carnivore diet for 3.5 years. So it's been just over 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks on Friday. Today is Tuesday, so it's actually 3.5 weeks. It'll be 4 weeks on Friday, I guess. And so today I'm going to tell you what's happening with my weight and my sleep and my mood and my bowel and my blood glucose. So as I said, it's been 3.5 weeks since I changed my diet, and my body is still adapting. Now, I've just done a video talking about my husband's issues and why we are giving him soluble fibre. And in there I said that I've been using ChatGTP a lot to try to work out which way to go with different things. I've been putting our genetic information into ChatGTP because, you know, we hubby and I both have very similar genetic variations that affect the way that our bodies function and use food. So we both have the same MTHFR genetic variations. We both have slow MAOA genes, and which affect our COMT genes, and then we have some others that are similar, and then we have some that are different that make us, obviously a little bit different. Like he's more prone to diabetes because his body doesn't use carbs as well as mine does. I have the fatso gene. He has the fatso gene, but a different version that maybe doesn't affect him as much. So different genetics. And so I've been putting that information into ChatGTP, and then it's been giving me recommendations with regard to what we're trying to achieve with our health and our supplement regimen. And so I have discovered that some of the supplements that I had us on were not the best options for us because of our genetic variations. So what I find with ChatGTP is that, although there's a lot of suspicion around the whole AI thing with a lot of people my age, the old baby boomer kind of age group, what I'm finding is that ChatGTP is a non-biased advisor. So as long as you know how to ask your questions, and as long as if you've got a different idea or a different understanding of me, you can put it into it, and it'll go, oh yeah, that's right, and then it'll go and find more information. Or if you don't understand, it can clarify things and make things really clear. So I'm finding ChatGTP really helpful for all of this stuff. Now what I'm finding at the moment, so I'm still pretty much eating the same. I've been having rice and fruit and some molasses for breakfast and lunch, basically, or not molasses at lunch, just once a day with that. I have honey in my tea sometimes in the morning, and then I've been having leaner meat at night time mostly, or leaner protein sources at night time, along with some maybe pumpkin, occasionally potato, rice if I've got that left over, and then some fruit as well. And what I'm finding so far is that my blood glucose, my fasting glucose in the morning, is gradually coming down. So it's been a lot steadier. I've mentioned that in my last couple of updates, last couple of videos about this, but it's gradually kind of sneaking down a little bit, and it's a lot steadier unless I have higher fat. So 2 nights this week I had higher fat, and my blood glucose those mornings were 5.9 and 6.4. The 6.4 was after having steak and some chicken nibbles, which were quite fatty. But the other mornings, my blood glucose tends to be at the moment between about 5.1 and 5.4 most mornings, which is a big improvement from where it was prior to starting this experiment. And what I'm also finding is that when I eat, so if I eat just starches and fruit, my blood glucose is still going quite high. So it'll spike up to about 8, between 8 and 8.9. But within 5 hours, it's back down to usually about 4.4. So it's going up and coming down. Now, I was chatting to ChatGTP yesterday, and it has been trying to encourage me to have some lean protein with my starches and fruit. So this morning I had just 100 grams of whiting with my breakfast, and then I had some rice and an apple and some molasses and just a few raisins. And so my blood glucose actually only went up to 7.1. It was 7.1 an hour after I ate, whereas other days it's been about 8. So I think having that really lean protein is possibly going to help. So I'll keep doing that, and I'll experiment. So hopefully if my blood glucose doesn't go up as high, then that's going to speed up this return to being insulin sensitive. Now, I've had people commenting on my videos telling me I'm nuts, and that, you know, how can eating carbs possibly create insulin sensitivity, and that the fruit's going to cause fatty liver and all of this stuff. You're going to die because you're eating all these carbs. And, you know, my answer to them is we will see. So far, it's looking okay. I'm feeling good. My bowel and my gut has been amazing. The only times that I've had issues, I think there was something one day earlier in the piece, and then on Sunday this week we had a stall at Narts festival thing in town, and obviously that stress, I'd been feeling a little bit kind of constipated the day before, and I'd taken extra magnesium, and then the stress kind of had me going back and forth to the toilet that morning before we left. I didn't have diarrhea, but it was just kind of loose, so that's the only real issue. But apart from that, I have ghost poos most days, and that's something that's talked about in the carnivore community as though that's just a carnivore thing. I think that is a good digestion thing and a clean food source thing, because for me that is pretty much every day now. And I mean, today and yesterday my bowel have been like every day. My bowel's been great, but I have had some days where I've felt a little bit constipated, but that seems to be settling, and I think that's just an adaptation thing as well. So yeah, there's no issues there at this point. It seems to be getting better and better. So my blood glucose, my fasting glucose, I have had one morning where it was 4.9, so it was under 5, and I was like, yes, but then it's been just over 5 again since then. So that was last week, the week before, last week, I think 27th, I think that was, because I looked on my I've got a spreadsheet with all my numbers on there. Now, ChatGTP said that it's going to take 8 to 12 weeks probably for my body to adapt to this. So I have to be patient. I have my days where I'm doubting what I'm doing. And I'm like, oh God, am I doing the right thing? I don't know. But then if I don't give it the time to really test this, then I'm not going to know. So if it's going to take 3 months for my body to adapt to this, then that's fine. I'm going to keep going. I'll experiment with adding some lean protein with my starches and my fruit, and I'm going to experiment eventually as well with removing the starch and just having the fruit. Now, as I said, I've had people saying, fructose, you're going to get fatty liver. It takes a long time to get fatty liver. One commenter put a link to a study in this comment, and when I checked that link, the study actually said that fructose from fruit does not cause fatty liver. And from what I've seen, the in vitro studies show that it causes fatty liver, but in vivo, so actually in humans, fruit has not been shown to cause fatty liver from what I have seen. But then there's always studies that conflict each other, and so you can cherry pick whichever ones you want. You know, it's the best bet is to actually test it on yourself and see what happens. Because, you know, I said to somebody, I don't think I'm going to die in the next few months from eating these carbs, and I can always go back to strict carnivore if I want to, you know. But this is an experiment to see what happens, because I wasn't getting the results that I expected to get on the carnivore diet. So with my weight, again, still nothing's really changing. It's going up and down, up and down. I'm up by about 1 kilo. I've been up by about 1.5 kilos some days, but then it comes back down again. And I think that probably depends on how much fluids in my body, how much salt I've had, you know, the day before, whatever. My sleep is pretty much the same as it was on carnivore. So I have some nights that are great, some nights that aren't so great. But generally my sleep is pretty good and doesn't take me too long to get to sleep. I've been waking fairly early some mornings. But yeah, I feel like I've slept okay. My energy is good. I'm actually yesterday started teaching myself to shuffle dance with videos on YouTube. I've been thinking about that for a while because I love dancing, and dancing's the best exercise for me because I absolutely love it. And that's why I used to love aerobics, but I find the aerobics a little bit boring these days, and I don't like the music with the new stuff. So the shuffle dancing, when I watch these women that are shuffle dancing, it just brings me joy watching them. So I tried a little while back, and it just felt so heavy and cumbersome that I kind of stopped. But now my energy is actually feeling a bit better, and I tried it because I've been skipping and using my rebounder. I'm finding that when I tried it yesterday, it was actually still hard, but a lot easier. Like I've got starting to get some more spring back in my feet. That's what it feels like, even with the skipping. So things are improving there. And yeah, my mood has been generally pretty good. I don't think I'm getting as many bad mood days as I was. That was happening a bit. And my bowel, as I said, has been fantastic. Ghost poos and amazing bowel motions most of the time. So I'm all very happy with that. So that's pretty much my update at 3.5 weeks in to this experiment. If you've got any comments or questions, pop those below. I try to answer all of my comments, even though some of them really piss me off. And if I'm not in a good mood, then people are likely to get a snappier reply than other days. But that's just the way that it is. And thank you very much for watching. And if you have just come across this video and you haven't seen my first video where I talk about why I'm doing this, you can check that out here. Bye for now.